just to revise a little because I'm going to tell you about a little more about editing, like how to edit your own content and how to edit if someone else is submitting something. So, especially this part, I want you to know that there are different levels of editing as well. Although, I mean, this can be further broken down when you come to proper creative writing and other kinds of writing. But here we'll just keep it very, uh, you know, to this level where in developmental editing, it's mainly about the accuracy and the information level, like how you are trying to solve the problem the user is coming to find out the solution for. Okay, so all those things are checked here. So accuracy is the main point here. You check about accuracy and a little bit of साथ में completeness. Like what information you have covered, what you have missed, and how accurate the information is. And this is usually done by uh, the product team, maybe the product managers or SMEs, whosoever you're dealing with. They will be checking this type of content. Okay, so more of the technical level, you can say. When you come to the copy editing, then it comes to the information architecture, the grammar, the sentence structure, how are you presenting the information, how the style guide compliance is or not, parallelism, word choice. So all those things that are directly related to your technical writing part. Okay. And in the end, so here this level comes only after the SMEs have approved that okay, this kind of information, this kind of flow, this kind of all these factors are whatever required is covered. Okay. Then comes the copy editing. After that, at the last level comes the proofreading, which is when your whole content is ready, everything is done, you have incorporated all the comments, and whatever is left is covered in this proofreading part. Okay. And what is that? Just before the production, just before the publishing, you see that there are no errors. For example, there are no broken links, there are no spelling errors, there are no punctuation errors, um, and formatting errors, or and anything that could be related to the publishing of the content. So all those things are covered here while proofreading. Okay. So this is what we learned. Now, most of the people feel it's very difficult to review your self-written content. अपना लिखा हुआ content उसको कैसे review करें? So, how do you review your own content? Have you been writing? Do you go back and read it again? Whenever you write something, you do that? Any one of you? Do you do that? Do you review your writings, whatever you write?
Yeah, we'll review.
Okay. और कैसे करते हैं? Do you find mistakes? Do you find things that should be improved?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a step-wise procedure. First, we will write, and after that, we'll find some mistakes. Again, we'll send it for review. So
Mm.
uh, after that, we'll get some mistakes, and we'll again rewrite it.
So when you get the review comments, do you feel that I should have been, I should be able to find out these things myself to a level? कभी ऐसा लगा है कि आपको रिव्यू कमेंट मिला हो और आपको लगे कि ये तो मुझे ही पता होना चाहिए था या ये मुझे ही ध्यान देना चाहिए था? Why couldn't I see it myself?
Yeah, finding ourselves is a good thing.
Yeah, but we are not able to usually find out our own mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And why does that happen?
I- uh, Everything we rate is regarding someone's requirement. Uh, so if we send it for review, the stakeholders will match the requirements and may ask for changes as per the requirement. Uh,
But the same requirement you also had, and the reviewer also has the same requirements, isn't it?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So it should be a perfect content. If that is the case, if it is only about matching the requirement, then both of you and the reviewer both have the same requirement, right? So why there is a gap?
I think we usually think that when you write, we don't make mistakes. Like mentally, we are in that zone that no, we will not make mistake, and then we review it, and then वो निकल जाता है कि नहीं ये गलत है,
Hmm.
सही करना चाहिए था.
Hmm. Right.
Psychological, I think it is, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, we just miss it or ignore it, I feel.
Yeah, it's more of ignorance because ignorance भी नहीं है. We are not able to see it because we are not able to disconnect with the content that we have written. We are so attached to it that whatever you have written is already there in your brain, and you tend to skim read it. Like, okay, okay, I have read it, I have written
Yes,
it
yeah.
correctly, and this is how it is, and we do not even give it a proper read. हम उसको रीड पूरी तरह से करते ही नहीं है. हम आधा आधा सा थोड़ा सा चंक्स में पढ़ा, हाँ 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 इतना ये ठीक है, ऐसे लिखा है, वैसे लिखा है, ऐसे ऐसा करते हैं यूजली. Okay, we do not even read it completely. Okay, and even if we read it, we are not able to, because we are not able to create that distance between our own ourselves and the content that we have written. We're not able to disconnect from it. We are not able to find the mistakes. Okay, so there are special techniques for creating. I mean, there are special ways to do that. So one is take a break. They say that sleep on your writing and disconnect from your content, like read it again, maybe the next morning after 2 3 days, so that you I have forgotten that memory has erased that I have written in and I have written it in a certain way. So just sleep over it for a few days, or at least one day, one night, like, and then go back to it again and read it with a fresh mind.
yeah, I have read that in Style Guide that if you get back to work or what you have written after a day, you will find some mistake. I have read somewhere. I think so in Style Guide is.
Yeah, yeah. So that happens.
At the time when you wrote, you don't get the mistakes. It is written like that.
Hmm.
After you get, if you take a break or after a day, you will find some mistakes. You will find something new in it. Like that, Arif.
Yes, yes. So that is why that thing is happening, because immediately if we try and read it and review it, you'll not be able to. Your mind is in the same thinking frame at that time. So if you try to review it in the same moment, you will not be able to find out the mistakes. You have to give it some time and come back to it later again, and then you will be able to find out something. So this is one thing. Another thing is taking a break, or sometimes giving it that much time is not possible when you're working in the release cycles, and when you're working in the for the tight timelines, because आप ऐसा तो है नहीं कि आपको आज टास्क मिला है और आपको हफ्ते 10 दिन बाद डिलीवर करना है. That usually doesn't happen. The timelines are so very strict that you will not get that much time to actually sit on it and give that break and read it back again after maybe 1 or 2 days. आपके पास उतना time ही नहीं होगा. So what to do? Okay. So what you can do is you can copy your content to a different document altogether. आप उसको उस डॉक्यूमेंट से लेके आए, दूसरे डॉक्यूमेंट में कॉपी पेस्ट करें, उसका फॉन्ट और साइज बिल्कुल कलर वगैरह सब चेंज कर दें, सो दैट इट लुक्स लाइक अ कम्प्लीटली न्यू कंटेंट. उसका अलाइनमेंट पूरा चेंज हो जाए. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मेरा भी ये सेंटेंस, इफ यू लुक एट इट व्हाट यू आर रीडिंग राइट नाउ, it is like copy your content to a different document in a different font. Different पे आपका break हो रहा है, फिर उसके बाद font and size आ रहा है, right? So when you change the font and size, probably this sentence will not end at different. It will be completely differently placed. Probably if I make the content bigger or maybe very small, it will completely change the look of it, and then your mind disconnects from it and you are able to read the whole thing properly. So one, you can do that. Read it out in a loud and clear voice. I think I have told you guys this thing already. जैसे आप लोग जब एडिटिंग करके भेज रहे थे तो मैंने आपको बोला था कि आप उसको लाउडली क्लियर वॉइस में पढ़ो. सो जब आप व्हेन यू डू दैट, you're able to find out where the sentence is breaking, where the punctuation is missing, or you're able to identify those areas. If the sentence is forming, it's a clear flow or not, if there is a lot of repetition, all those things you will be able to make out. Okay. So this is a very very good technique, very efficient technique. I don't know आप लोगों ने try किया कि नहीं किया, कि उसको clearly बोल कर अपने text को देखें, and will get to know that there is something that is missing here, or there is some error. Okay. किया किसी ने? Has anyone tried? Can you share? How did it feel? Could you find out mistakes or not? किसी ने नहीं किया ना? Oh my god. अब की बार try करना.
No.
Yeah, just try it next time. It wasn't a vague, this thing, ki read it loud and then send it. It is because that helps. Okay, so take those instructions seriously, and next time when you edit, read it out in a loud and clear voice. Okay, of course, refer to the style guide. That's also one way you can see whether the way I have written is matching the style guide or not. If you've written any steps, if you have written any kind of content, again think about the user. Is this thing, if I am the user, if I had to use it for doing these steps, will I be able to get the information I'm looking for? Will I be able to solve the problem that I'm facing? So get into the user's shoes again, bring that user perspective once again after you have written your document. Okay. You can take help from peers, at least for the initial few topics. Why? Because you will, there are certain tendencies that we tend to write in a particular way, and we're not able to identify ourselves. So you can see what a peer is telling you. So in fact, अगर आपको कोई team lead या peer कोई भी आपका review कर रहे हैं, if they have reviewed some of your topics, see the pattern. Notice the pattern, notice the kind of feedback that you're getting again and again, and create your own checklist. Find out what mistakes are getting repeated, what is my tendency of writing the content, and which shouldn't be there. So just create your own checklist and check those things yourself, so that you're not submitting the same thing again and again and again. Okay, and then getting the same comments. So that is how you will be able to progress. And also they say that you should be able to edit sometimes 50 to 60% of your content, because when you write in a flow, we give a lot of extra information that is needed. Okay, when you go back and review it, edit it ruthlessly. Excuse me. Edit it ruthlessly. Don't think that I have written it. Don't get attached to it. Think what user needs and edit it. Cut down the words, the sentences, the paragraphs, the content. Whatever is not needed, just remove it. And but limit yourself to 2 edits और मैक्सिमम 3 edits. ये नहीं कि बार बार वापस जा रहे हैं अपने कंटेंट पे और उसको एडिट कर रहे हैं to get that perfection level, because there is nothing called perfection, and otherwise you'll end up in that endless hole of reviewing and making it better. So उसको limit भी करना जरूरी है, because you'll also have your timeline, you'll also have your other tasks to take up. So do not get into an endless loop of reviewing. So just limit yourself that, okay, maximum 2 or 3 edits, and after that you get back to the next task, submit this one, and move on. Okay. So now onwards, just try to. You'll not be able to use all these techniques in all the edits. Okay. See how much time do you have. See what will suit the best in this particular scenario. For example, if you're writing the steps, if you have checked the steps that you're covering everything, because that usability testing is also there. When you're writing the steps, you will actually go and check it again, that okay, the user is doing this, I have written that. ये उसके बाद ये step हो रहा है, I have covered that. This is there, this is there. So you'll map your writing with the actual steps that user needs to carry out, and वो सब कर लिया. So in case of steps, getting into the user's shoes once again, and rechecking, usability testing karna, all those things, fine, right? But for how the steps should be written, what are the terms to be used, उसके लिए आप स्टाइल गाइड प्रॉब्ली रेफर करोगे. मेरे को यहाँ पे सिलेक्ट लिखना है या चेक लिखना है, गो टू दिस लिखना है या navigate to लिखना है. Your style guide will have those rules. Okay, so what are the terms that you have? So you'll mix up 1 or 2 techniques, 3 techniques only to actually review your content, not all of them. Okay, but yes, it is a good idea that if you're seeing any repetition in your own mistakes, by self-reviewing or by getting the comments from a peer or a team lead, do create a checklist of your own, so that before submitting you check your content, that okay, I've checked this part, I've checked this thing, I've checked this thing. Okay, like many people have tendency to write a lot of the THE. Everywhere they'll write the. Especially Indians में बहुत ज़्यादा tendency होती है, they'll write the. There's not no the specific use of the, and sometimes we miss a lot. जहाँ पर आना चाहिए वहाँ पर भी नहीं लिखते हैं. तो these kind of, हालांकि आपके पास now you have a lot of tools and everything to fix all these things. For example, Grammarly is there, there are online tools, Word का inbuilt tool तो है ही, but उसके अलावा भी there are a lot of tools that you can use to identify those grammar and spell check and those kind of errors. But for rest of the things, definitely create your own checklist. Okay. Now sometimes you will get content from SMEs also. So sometimes if there is a lot of technical information, technical architecture उन्होंने mention किया है, product का architecture है, कुछ है, which they want the user to have, and sometimes they say you put this information as it is in the documentation. So do you put that information as it is in the documentation? Obviously, we cannot put that information as it is in the, because it's your documentation. You are responsible for it. Tomorrow, if someone comes and asks you why this information goes like this, you should be answerable. Second point is the user who is going to read will not understand the developer's mindset directly. You are the bridge in between. You should be able to translate the developer's intent, what developer wants to convey, into the user's purpose of reading that particular content. Okay, so you will have to be that bridge more. So you're giving that information that has come to you from an SME, but you will not think about the SME, you will think about the user, how user is going to use this information. So you'll break down that complexity that usually comes from developers and make it simpler for user to read it. Okay, you'll edit the flow, structure, grammar, terminology, whatever it takes to create the nice piece of content, technical content that you want to deliver to your user. You'll apply the style guide rules. You'll apply the, check the consistency of the terms, because what you are using in rest of the documentation, here also it should be same. And check the formatting also, of course. So all these things. Now, that was it about data. No, sorry, editing. And I'll just